this is Thomas and today we will be making chocolate dump it cake. This is just an easy recipe for a chocolate cake with a sour cream and chocolate chip frosting. Like not chocolate chips, but melted chocolate frosting made from chocolate chips. First you're going to preheat your oven to 375. Then you're going to take a bundt pan and you're going to spray it with olive oil spray. And you want to spray it well since this is a very moist cake. And then you're going to take a pot and you're going to put in 2 cups of sugar, 1 stick of butter, 4 ounces of unsweetened chocolate, so that's usually 1 bar. And you just want to break this into some small pieces so that it'll melt quicker. And also 1 cup of water. Then you're going to melt that over medium heat and you're just going to stir it occasionally until all of the ingredients are melted. I'm not going to film this, but I'll be back in a couple minutes and I'll show you what it looks like. When the chocolate and everything is completely melted like this, then you can just make sure everything's all melted and then you can turn it off and let it cool for a few minutes. Next you're going to take 1 cup of milk and into that you're going to add 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. And then you can just stir that around a little bit and set that off to the side. Then you're going to take 2 cups of flour and add in 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Then you're just going to stir that around. Once the chocolate in your pot has cooled a lot, then you're going to whisk in your milk and vinegar mixture. Once that's mixed in, you're going to whisk in the eggs, and you want to do this quickly just in case it's still a little bit hot. I forgot to point out that you need 2 eggs, so just do them 1 at a time. Then you're going to add the flour mixture, but you're going to do this in multiple additions, and you do not want to overmix this. Just add a little bit at a time. Okay, so I did this in 4 different additions and now it is almost ready, but you still have to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so now you're going to do what gives this cake its name. You're going to use oven mitts since it's still probably pretty hot, and you're going to dump the batter into your pan. That process is a lot easier if you have someone helping you, and it's also important to note that this cake batter is very runny, which is why it is very moist, which is why it's very important for you to prepare the pan very well and oil it. You could have even gone even further than I did and used flour and butter to do it, but this is usually what I do, so it should be fine. And now you're going to put this in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes, and I will be back when it comes out. When your cake is done, and you can know it's done when it passes the toothpick test, you should take it out and let it cool for 10 minutes in its pan. I will be back in a few minutes to take it out of the pan and make the frosting. So that last bit didn't film, but what I was just saying is that once you've let your cake cool for about 10 to 15 minutes, you just take a little spatula and go around the sides of your pan to loosen it. Then you flip it over and it comes out onto the cutting board. And then if a little bit gets stuck at the pan, that's okay since you're going to frost it and you can cover up those bits. And now you're just going to let this sit here and cool completely. While your cake is cooling, you're going to take 1.5 cups of chocolate chips and you're going to put it over a little bit of water in a heat-proof bowl. And you're just going to turn that onto medium-high heat and you're just going to stir that until it melts. chips are completely melted, you're just going to take that out and let it cool for a couple minutes. You don't want them to get hard though, you want them to stay soft. Once your chocolate has cooled to room temperature, you are now going to add in 1.5 cups of sour cream, but you're only going to do this a little bit at a time so that it doesn't get all clumpy. So just about a spoonful or a little bit more once you start getting more. And you're just going to stir that in with your spatula. Once your sour cream is all mixed in, then your frosting should look about this color brown. So you're going to have more frosting than you need for your cake. So oftentimes I will make this with 1 cup of chocolate chips and 1 cup of sour cream. But if you want to use more of the frosting, then you could take a knife and cut the cake in half this way and then frost the inside. But I'm not going to do that today since I don't usually do that. So I'm just going to take an offset spatula, but if you don't have one, you can just use a spatula. And I'm going to take some of this frosting and just put it on a cake. And it's pretty self-explanatory how to frost this cake. You're just going to put some frosting on the cake and frost it down the sides. So I like to just put a thinner layer on first, just so I can evenly distribute it everywhere, and then just add more. Okay, so I'm pretty much done, and obviously this isn't the most pretty cake ever, but it's easy and it's quick, and most importantly it tastes very good. So now I will eat a piece. So I'm just going to slice a piece over here. And now I will eat a piece. This is really good, and as you saw, it was really easy to make, so you should definitely make it too. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.